Hello, and welcome to episode 19 of 20 Minutes, titled Free Speech. I'll go with that as the title. I don't really understand the difference between like free speech and freedom of speech, and part of that's the problem because I just don't understand things or have the knowledge I should. And so I want to complain about not being able to express myself and about people being too weak to handle words. And I think that freedom of speech is one of the most important things you can have. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, just vitally important to a free society. You're not a free society without it. You're not a free being without it. And then just a rant on obscenities in general, because I don't know. I think like there's a lot on this topic for me to say. I don't quite know how to go about it. Well, mm, so in the United States, I think free speech is being eaten away. Of course, the First Amendment is supposed to protect us from uh, government infringement on speech. And what's happening is that it's corporations that are infringing or limiting speech. It's corporations that are silencing people, not the government. And so that's not protected speech. So we have companies like Twitter, Facebook, Google that are platforms to share speech from, or platforms to share speech on, or platforms to express yourself on. And since they're private companies, they get to decide who can and cannot use their platforms and what can or cannot be said on them. And I think, but one problem I see is that you're never going to reach people in the same way without using those platforms. And so if you say, or if you get banned off of them, I mean, your speech is being severely limited. And of course, you can't say anything you want. There's limits by law to where I don't know the exact limits because I'm not uh, a, a constitutional lawyer who studied years about this. Like you can't incite a panic by yelling fire or like calling in a false bomb threat and stuff. And then there's like libel and I don't know, maybe there are like obscenity laws. Probably are. I mean, guaranteed. So that's my issue. I mean, part of it is that corporations have seized all the power, and if you get on their bad side, they're going to cut off any power you have through using their platform. So I guess a case study would be the banning of Alex Jones off of basically every major platform, which I think is it was a terrible precedent to set. And it was amazing the coordination with which he was banned across those platforms all at the same time. And I hate Alex Jones. I think he's an idiot. He's so dumb. He's, I probably don't agree with like 80% of what he says. Like I haven't bothered to listen to that much of him, but I think he should be able to speak and express himself. And it terrified me when I saw that he got banned. It's an awful thing, because that means it sets the precedent for him being banned, or not for him, for anyone else being banned. And of course, they chose to ban Alex Jones because that's something everyone would agree with. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, I hate that guy," or like he even talking to my mom about this when it happened. Like happened, or I saw it in the morning or whatever, and I saw my mom at lunch. I was like, "Oh, this is really bad. What happened? They banned this guy across all platforms at the same time. Like, really worries me about the crackdown on free speech." She was like, "Oh yeah," kind of nodding and agreeing a little bit, and then posted about it on Facebook how it was terrible, and then my mom actually saw who it was, and she was like, she lent her agreement to what had happened. She's like, "Yeah, it's good. He's banned. Screw that guy. He should make his own platform." And just really pains me that she doesn't realize the problem with that, or doesn't care. I don't know. Like, yeah. See, yeah, that makes me sad. That my mom doesn't see the problem with unilaterally banning someone across all those platforms, even if it's someone whose speech you decry and detest and disagree with in every way. Although, I mean, he has said some reasonable things and exposed some of what goes on, and it's not all bad. Even if I did detest the guy and think he's an idiot and agree with him when he says he's retarded. And so that's the other thing about speech. You can't call people idiots or retarded or say anything negative. I think it's a disservice if someone is being an idiot to not call it out for what it is. And this softening 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 of language. Like, people die. And I think it could be agreed upon that dying is worse than being insulted. And as a country, the United States has killed crazy amounts of people, even like 90% innocent people with drone bombings. I'm sure the stats are a little different now. That statistic is like 5 years old or something. But it's like, as our country kills people, and we're gonna freak out over people saying things, people speaking words and expressing ideas. And I guess it's like people are just worried about the bad ideas, or like, I don't know. I don't understand it. And so you have like banned words on platforms, and so like on TV there's who knows how many words you can't say, or the radio there's so many words you can't say. But you can depict violence and murder, and, you know, all manner of terrible things. And it's something the South Park movie really delves into, is that like, oh, any manner of violence is okay, but a few swear words, and that's unacceptable. I think that's ridiculous. What else? It's like, hmm. So one, like, my preferred pronoun is retard. Is that unacceptable for me to even say that? It's ridiculous, because I think, like, I literally think I'm retarded. If you look up the definition of the word, like, I looked up the definition of the word retard, and I'm like, this applies to me. I should be at whatever stage of development, you know, with how old I am, and I'm not, because I'm literally retarded. So it, and back to, like, I mean, there's these super important. I was gonna say super important cases involving Julian Assange and Edward Snowden, like, exposing these atrocities that are being committed, and this I don't know. It's bad times. We're at the precipice. I think I don't know, something's about to fall into the abyss. I don't know. I don't think some level of humanity will survive for a while. Unless, I mean, it depends on the time frame. was gonna say, unless there's some type of cosmic catastrophe that wipes out the planet or all life on it, anyways. The billionaires are developing their safe emergency measures, safety measures, backup plans. Their plan is to leave this planet because it's fucked. And yeah, it's just this. It really bothers me. I think people need to just not let themselves be bothered by words. And I think there's this degradation of importance put upon free will and choice, and I don't know, maybe free will doesn't exist because you could calculate out every move and action, or every action someone would make if you had all the data. So say someone had every single piece of information about this state of the universe. Like, maybe they could entirely predict what I was going to do. Every single detail. And you'd have to, otherwise things would diverge at various points. But, I don't know, man. I think I don't know. Free will is a tough question. I get the feeling there's some, well, just from my knowledge of quantum physics, that there's some level of randomness inherent in the universe. And that's kind of what negates the universe being deterministic, that it's random. But then is there free will? And so I don't know, the part of this is spurred upon me being banned in League of Legends for my chat, because I rage at people and call them idiots and tell them fuck you. And it just bothers me, because if I used soft language, and I said, and I was like, F you, like EFF, or like just press the F key, like F U, F space YOU, I probably wouldn't be banned. But it's because, and it's like, people can be all sorts of passive aggressive and ask like, oh, do you have a brain? And and I don't know, to me that's like even worse than me saying fuck you or you're stupid. Because obviously I have a brain if I'm a human and functioning and alive and playing the game, so it's like you're denying this level of reality. So that's like an even worse offense in my opinion. And I mean, I try not to hold on to like all these minor slights. Like I don't know. And of course I don't do that well in holding my composure. I don't know. Free speech is dying. We live in 1984. If you say something the system doesn't like, they're gonna ban you. Thank you for watching.